Progress.
All right, we're gonna drop in, get into our bodies. I love to do that through dance, of course. And we'll wait for a few others to join. Hi, Heather.
Hey, good evening.
Woo! I'll put the song in the chat so you ladies can jam. Yay! Kelly, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so excited to meet you. All right. This song is so good. Oh, so good, so good, so good. Okay, hi, lady. How are we doing? How are we doing? Heather, where are you? You're traveling. Kelly, where are you stationed? Where are you calling in from? Love to, yeah, feel you, hear you. Tell me all the things.
I'm in Greenville, South Carolina, just outside of Greenville.
Yeah, amazing. Kelly, where are you at? I can hardly hear you. Na, 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 na.
Okay, how about now?
Yes, much better.
Awesome. I'm from Australia. I live in Hollywood, California, and I'm currently getting ready for a movie. So you ladies are with me, getting my hair and makeup done, getting ready to shoot tonight in a film. And the theme of the movie is feminine rage. So I thought I would tune in because I want some like untamed feminine energy to channel for the movie tonight. So I appreciate you.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. Oh my
That's
God, Kelly, I'm
amazing.
so curious how you made it into this ecosystem. I had 13 speakers in the summit, so I'm curious which channel you came through.
Oh yeah, my Buddhist friend Sierra Mercier sent me the email of this. I think she might be part of your community somehow.
Amazing. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, beautiful. Well, so good to have you here. Heather, you know me well, but for those that are watching, because I know a lot of people will be watching the replay as well. I think we had like nearly 70 people sign up for the summit, and I saw a lot of views on the replay. So I'm just gonna give you all a overview and introduction of who I am and the work that I do. And Kelly hit it the nail on the head, tapping into, tuning into some of this untamed, wild, primal, feminine energetics that we get to explore when we unapologetically step into our truth, right? And that's really the work that I do. I've been doing women's work for a decade. I was over a decade now. I was brought into women's work actually through a nonprofit that I was working for down in Guatemala after I graduated from college. And in that, I was so deep in my rebellious stage. I did not want to work for the systems. I was doing everything that I could to avoid getting a 9 to 5 and really feeding into a way of being and really a path that I didn't believe in. And so I pursued my passion, international work. I moved to Costa Rica, and there in Costa Rica, I was diagnosed with celiac disease. So I realized the impact of the gut-brain connection because it was there in Costa Rica. I was integrating into my site assignment as a Peace Corps volunteer that I started feeling really stressed, really anxious. I felt a lot of comparison, not enoughness that a lot of women feel on a regular basis. And I realized that itself, that stress and anxiety that I felt in my body manifested in a disease, an autoimmune disorder. And so I've been really devoted to holistic healing since then. I got my holistic health certification, was coaching clients while working for the government. And then I realized the diet and the exercise plans are not making the impact that I know that I could make on people's lives in the way that I wanted to. It also felt very clinical. And the more that I deepen in my reclamation journey, the more that I realize that I don't want to follow a standardized system or steps. And I believe in quantum energetics and quantum healing, especially in the feminine. There's no linear path or straight line to get to where you want to go. You can really start to play with cultivating an optimal state, a primal state, a rage state to heal generations of trauma and wounding that we've been holding on to. And so that was my pathway into this. And I really was inspired by healing at the root cause of trauma and dysregulation. And I pursued my certification as a yoga teacher. I became a trauma-informed facilitator, and I really started to learn even more of the body-based practices that help to regulate the nervous system, that help to release repressed dormant emotions that have been laying in the body that cause disease as well. And I went on to study NLP. So NLP is neurolinguistic programming, and it's the subconscious. And so really the pillars that I work with through my work are rewiring your subconscious mind, which is also very shadowy. It's also quite feminine in nature. When you think of the conscious and the subconscious is everything underneath of the water. And so I love to like be able to work with some of the subconscious repatterning through NLP. And then we do energetic repatterning through somatic activations, through emotional alchemy, through root cause trauma healing, and energy work. And really through this trifecta, creating an entire recoding of your body at a cellular level. So Heather knows I ditched the good girl programming as you ladies are really coming into this and realizing like what it means to walk the untamed path. That is living outside of the matrix, living outside of the box, claiming your artistic essence, your truth, your radiance, your disruptor energy. And so I realized that even up until recently, I was hiding, okay? And maybe you can resonate with this. Heather, I know you can. You're coming out of your cage. You're like really stepping into your wild primal woman in this new adventure that you're pursuing. And in this, stepping into my identity as the priestess, as the jaguar priestess, connected to the unseen realms, connected to my intuition, connected to my ability to see beyond the veil. And that is the jaguar. And the jaguar she doesn't question her worth. She doesn't question her power. She walks with confidence, with grace, with in like stealth beauty, right? And that's really the energy that I'm stepping into now. It's like fuck hiding behind the, I'm a women's group facilitator. Yes, I am that. And I'm so much more. And so this process of becoming, which is really what we're going to do today, is the permission slip to invite more of your woman online, more of your range, more of your expression. Okay. And so with that, the feminine, the wild feminine, is not something to be understood. It's actually something to be misunderstood. And it's something to be experienced, not to make sense of, okay? So you in your full radiance range femininity moves people. I don't know about you guys, but this is like my favorite compliment in the world. The compliment that you feel familiar. Do I know you from somewhere? And these are people that I've never met in my life. And the brighter I shine and the more brilliant I am in my authentic expression and truth, the more life and people are reflecting back to me that sense of familiarity, because it's a woman that knows herself. Okay. And so that's what this practice is. That's what the feminine reclamation is. That's what the wild woman is breaking down the patriarchy, breaking down the matrix, burning down the boxes that society has molded and shifted and fit and squished you into, so that you could live beyond barriers, live beyond rules, live beyond systems that people have created in order for them to feel comfortable. And what we don't realize is in our trying to morph and fit and squish and contract, we're actually creating disease and dysregulation that is passed on through generations. And so our ability to liberate ourselves from those contracted states is really what helps to create a permission slip. It helps to create a world of women who are living on purpose, connected to their truth, remembering their divinity beyond what patriarchy and the programs have taught you. Okay, I'm kind of freezing. I don't know, my computer's been weird. All right. So today, hold on, let's see where I catch up. Okay, it's catching up. So today I am going to teach you the framework for the Becoming Her unity circles. Okay, so I have two frameworks. Kelly, on Friday afternoon, I facilitated the Feminine Untamed Ascension Gathering, and that's really somatic. It's really primal. You're inviting your body in, you're getting into these really activating energetic practices. You're exploring the edges of your expansion in the Feminine Untamed Ascension Gathering. And then today we're going to kind of close the loop. We're going to ground the energy. So I know you're feeling like, I'm ready to get into my sacred rage. And I love that. I love that. And I'm going to be curious how we can kind of like weave the themes of the Becoming Her unity circle into that, create maybe some, oh, is there a past version of me that wasn't in my full authenticity? Where did I possibly where could I have adjusted? Where was I not in integrity with myself? And remembering some of those, and then remembering your divinity and inviting more of your full spectrum woman online. But today we're kind of coming to the close of the Feminine Untamed Virtual Summit. And so I want to close in a really nurturing, nourishing way, grounded way, as a way to connect back to yourself, as a way to connect back to your heart, as a way to, realize the divinity that's been in you this whole entire time. And so these Becoming Her unity circles have a different tone. These are more introspective in nature. The focus is internally. So when we talk about masculine and feminine energetics, the masculine energy is turned outward, right? If you think about procreation and a man's ejaculation, his energy is moving outward, away from him. And so that's really like the energy of the feminine untamed is like very much like an outward movement of energy. You're expanding your comfort zones. And today, the becoming her is more of like an introspective. This is like a homecoming, right? And so the feminine energetics is more of like an internal gaze, right? And so we're going to be doing some of that, looking at our inner landscape, cleaning up your inner landscape. Where can you be in more integrity with yourself, with the woman that you're becoming, right? Becoming her. It's grounded in nature, it's heart-centered, and we really use each other in these gatherings as mirrors to one another. So, Kelly, you're doing incredible work. You're a creative. You are brought into this community through another sister who I deeply trust in her invitation here. And so I can already feel the expanded energy that you hold and your frequency and your presence in this space as a way to expand. And then Heather, you're about to go on this radical adventure. You're really truly stepping into your most divine, authentic, authoritative expression while also learning ways to be in your feminine. And so like you're learning to really lead with your heart and soften and allow yourself to trust in the divine unfolding when things may be out of your control on this global adventure that you're about to embark on. And so I really believe we all have such medicine to offer. And so today is going to just be an opportunity to hold that mirror up to the women that we're with. I remember I was talking to a guy friend of mine and he was like, "Man, if only I just like actually believed in the Jeffrey that I am, that people like perceive me as." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Like if only we would start to see ourselves in the ways in which others around us see us, like that is it. And so not only do I get to expand to Kelly's energy, not only do I get to expand to Heather's energy and all of the other women that will be watching this, not only do you all expand to my energy and my frequency because we all have different energetic blueprints, but we also get to hold up that sacred mirror for one another. And that's such a gift to be able to witness and see and celebrate the beauty that you carry deep within you. Okay? Reflected back by another woman who you trust deeply. Okay? And so I've been leading these circles, these women's circles in particular since 2018, and over time I've refined, I've cultivated, I've created frameworks. I've been teaching these frameworks to women inside the Untamed Facilitator as well. So the Untamed Facilitator is my 12-month initiation into your Jaguar Priestess, into your Wild Woman. We go through different archetypes from the lover, the oracle, the initiate, the 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 ceremonialist, the jaguar priestess, the queen. We move through the different energetics of your feminine and different archetypes of your feminine. You explore, right? These different pillars of your untamed wild woman. Wild woman is another one. She's a woman that's connected to the earth and the cycles and the her womb and the wisdom of her womb and the 28-day cycles and the Ayurvedic doshic cycles to live optimally. Right? I'm coming off of my bleed. I timed it a little bad, but in that I already put in my calendar when my next ovulation is going to be, and the next offering that I'm going to invite you all into, it's a free offering. It's the initiate. Well, I'll teach you kind of the frameworks and the pathways to the initiate, which is associated with your higher self and really working through and past like old programs and dynamics that you are moving away from into your ascended master. But all of this to say, like this is the energy of the feminine untamed, and a beautiful experience that I got to invite women into here in my home in Denver, Colorado, was there was a group of like 15 or 20 women that came over, and I told them all to put blindfolds on. And so this practice was more of in the essence of the Becoming Her Unity Circle, because it was again like vision is internal, right? And so we walked to the park. I guided them. They were blindfold, and their gaze was introspective, and they were learning about the narratives and maybe where they didn't trust themselves, right? And oh my God, what do I do? How do I, like, what if I step off the path? What's going to happen, right? And so, um, yeah, it's just like there's so many creative ways that you can create a space like the Becoming Her Unity Circle. And like I mentioned in the last gathering, I love to tune into the frequency of the collective and like feel into what's alive. And with that, like maybe I'm tuning into if there's an astrological event that's happening, if there's a political event that's happening, if there's a weather event that's happening, if there's some just like energy that feels alive collectively, or energy that's in myself that feels a little bit dysregulated or not kind of my normal baseline, then you can use that as inspiration when building out these offers. Okay. And so today I'm going to really give you all an opportunity to discover what it's like to be in a grounded, heart centered space like this. Um, my absolute favorite compliment, besides being called familiar and by a complete stranger, is the one where all of my clients and people in my world, and Heather, I think maybe you can feel into this too, but is, oh my God, I would have saved so many years and time and money on therapy. And this work that I've been exploring here is I got to heal in a day, a week, a month, what I had been working on in a decade of therapy. Okay. And so that's really like the quantum energetics. That's really the feminine untamed, is we don't follow the rules here. Okay. We get to play our own game. We make up the pathways of possibility. That's why I didn't choose the traditional therapy route. You know how many times my mom told me that I should go get my graduate degree, and I said, no, F that. I'm not doing that. I'm here to be a wild woman. I'm not here to follow the matrix. F the rules, F the programs, F the 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 systems and the tests and the buy-ins and the this and that. Like I've studied. I have studied this work for years. I hold multiple certificates, but no, I won't go that traditional therapy route because it's just not what I believe in at the core, right? I believe in being the untamed, expressed version of you, and especially when it comes to work. So, okay, when it comes to facilitating these Becoming Her Women circles, unity circles, number one is the introduction, right? So, Heather, you received this before, you know, build authority, introduce yourself. Why are you here? What experience do you have that gives you the ground to stand on facilitating a transformational experience for others? So that's number one. We just did that. All right. And number two is the invocation. So the invocation is a collective prayer, meditation, a grounding practice to create cohesion within the group. And so with the invocation, I always invite women in the group to stand, to activate their voice, to activate their skills. If it feels edgy, even better. I'm so glad we're all here to support you. We're all here in solidarity with you. And so the invocation is also an invitation for you to strengthen your voice, your intuition, your connection to the divine. And so I'm going to invite one of you, if you feel the call, if it feels edgy for you, even better, I invite you to step up and open up the space with a collective prayer. Maybe you even just do like a grounding 4-part box breath, whatever feels authentic for you. I invite you into this space to activate your voice there. And yeah, I'll happily be here and turn over the mic if either of you ladies feel inspired to do so.
Well, I can just say a little prayer. Okay, so I just wanted to connect with the feminine today so we can all hold space, especially during this very potent time in the cosmos, to really join forces in fighting against the injustice of the patriarchy, against injustice of the planet, against the injustice of the Mother Earth. I want us to come together in strength of our feminine energy to tap into our divine feminine, our fierce feminine, maybe even our dark feminine, to rise up against the evils of injustice that are destroying the planet, the leaders who don't have our best interests in heart. I want us to be able to find the strength together and within ourselves and through the strength of Mother Earth and the goddess and our ancestors to stand up for what we believe in, to stand up for justice, for helping save the planet through protecting our environment, protecting the animals, protecting our children, protecting women and young girls, and finding that strength within ourselves to advocate for our own safety and our own rights in our lives. I pray that the goddess will come forth to help strengthen this prayer, that our ancestors will come forward to help strengthen this prayer, and that the animals, the feminine energy within the big cats and the felines can also come forward and strengthen our energy so we can also help protect them and the environment that they live in. Namaste.
Mm. Mm. Thank you so much, Kelly. Whoa. That was a portal in and of itself. Yeah. Yeah, really feeling like the strength and the conviction and the prayer. Thank you so much. And uh yeah, I love like your intention to love and heal and be in coherence with the earth. That's something that on day 4 yesterday, actually, with Anna Gasol, she talked about um, the feminine and the earth as being wealthy, abundant, because there's just so much flora and fauna everywhere. And so we have the ability to generate and create wealth from so many pathways. And how the collective and humanity at large is treating the earth is a reflection of our microscopic universe of how we treat our bodies too. And so there's this invitation here as well to reclaim the respect and the restoration of our bodies, and letting that be the starting place of that deep reverence and that prayer to heal the earth as well and restore uh, harmony in nature. So thank you for that prayer. And yeah, today, something that feels alive. And Heather, I'd love to actually know um, what, yeah, like, are you single? Are you dating? Because today I want to talk about sacred union. And Heather, I know where you're at, and I know that, yeah, I see you unmuted yourself, so I welcome you to put some voice here.
Yeah, I'm embarking on this journey, as you mentioned earlier. I'm going with my life partner to travel the world and then, well, travel the US and then move to Spain together. So definitely consider myself partnered and in exploring that sacred union in our.
Mhm. Mm. amazing. So I had a conversation with another woman, and Kelly, feel free to put in the chat too. I'd love to know, yeah, where your heart is at right now. But I this time last year decided to abstain from sex. I had some deep healing to do and realized that I was getting into relationships that were feeding a very deep unconscious void that I had been in, with the desire to receive attention from men because of that unmet need in early childhood from my father, and not feeling received or seen or supported or held in the way that that little girl, little Katie, needed to from early childhood. And I've known for over a decade, and I know Sierra actually does a lot of like sacred union work as well. I'm pretty sure she has like written a book on it or something. Kelly, you'd probably know more than I do, but I knew since I was 20 years old the type of relationship that I wanted to be in, yet felt so unworthy of attracting and receiving and holding on to that. I felt like I wasn't a match or whatever those narratives were. I felt like, I was so attached to this younger version of me that loved to party and, loved to get attention from men. And I actually admittedly told a mentor of mine that I didn't trust myself to not seduce a man. And if you saw Kay Farah speak on day 2, we actually talked about this of like wanting to be with, especially she spoke into a lot of like being with people that were unavailable, and that coming from the wounded inner child and the needs of her yeah, inner masculine kind of going unmet, and her inner child going unmet, and really healing her relationship to her father. Oh, okay. I have single out of a 6-month relationship. Yes. All right. Looking for some fun and to date again. Yay. Okay, we're in the same boat. Oh my gosh. So I last year was abstinent for 8 months, which is not a year and a half, but it was the longest I had gone since I lost my virginity. And it was a deep detox. I say I was on a dick and drug detox because at the time I was also clearing my system of substances. I spent multiple months sober. I realized the intermingling and the weaving of substances and men in my life, and a lot of toxicity around that. Um, and yeah, I've been doing a lot of deep healing. Went on a journey out east to Sri Lanka and India and the Philippines, sat in Vipassana. So I know, Kelly, I don't know if you're probably familiar with Vipassana if you come from, yeah, like a Buddhist lineage. But um, in that, I started to feel my heart open again. And I started to feel that desire to connect again. And I so want kids and I want sacred union. And that really feels like part of my life path. It feels part of my destiny to be in relationship, in conscious relationship, in sacred union, to fulfill my role as a women's mentor and healer and guide and mother. And so, what is sacred union? Sacred union to me means conscious partnership. It means open communication. It means meeting your partner in a way that they feel seen, acknowledged, they're able to support you and hold you emotionally, right? And in my pattern with the first man that I loved in my life, my father, he was so unable to hold me in my emotion. The minute I started crying, he told me to stop crying. The minute I started to express, he told I would get punished for that. And so that created an unconscious pattern of attracting in men who were unable to hold me emotionally because that's what felt familiar. Attracting in men who didn't see the full scope of my feminine. Yeah, I see you, sister. I'm a healer. I'm a jaguar priestess. I'm an oracle. I speak to the freaking ancestors and I'm a channel. And my first boyfriend judged the shit out of me because I wanted to know what sign he was. And he was like atheist, maybe agnostic. I'm not really sure. And not, like that's just not me. Yeah, next. Yeah, yeah. And so, red flag number one, if a man laughs in my face and tells me it's all bullshit, whatever the stars gotta say, then yeah, it's not gonna be aligned. So, with that, like I saw, because my father, he's still working, and I love myself so deeply because the more that I reclaim the full spectrum and range of my woman relentlessly with conviction, the more that actually these men in my life, like my father, are actually starting to meet me because I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna hide. You don't understand. I'm like, no, this is true. This is who I am. And actually, the beautiful thing is now he comes to me for advice. And maybe I speak in like a little bit more advanced terms than him, but it's been really beautiful to see the roles reversed and me anchored in my conviction in myself and my certainty and my I actually don't give a fuck if you don't understand what I'm talking about or that I sound crazy or that I like desire modern relationships, and it's actually not up to you, and I'm so happy that this triggers you. And so this is sacred union. This is conscious relating, is your ability to bring the full spectrum of your woman to the plate online with conviction, with certainty, and it takes a degree of self-knowing. Who am I? What am I willing to accept or not accept? Okay? And so one thing, I think you ladies have probably heard this before, but like the rising in love versus falling in love. Sacred union feels like a rise in love. I have fallen in love before. I have had crushes before. And what those crushes are is actually just your wounded inner child feeling deeply dysregulated and unable to or unworthy of being in relationship because actually there probably is a part of you that's just not a match versus sincerely liking somebody, loving somebody is you rooted in your yeah, yeah, crushes are always toxic. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah, the last guy that I was with, I told my mentor, I was like, oh my God, I have a crush. Told my roommate too. She's a therapist and she's like, oh yeah, that's your inner child. She's coming out. And I could feel the dysregulation in my body and the toxicity in my body, but I chose to ignore it. And then the man that I'm relating to now, beautiful man, he like sits with the Lakota tribe. He's a sun dancer. I go to his house. He's got like altars with bones and feathers and all these things. And he's like, hey, do you want to eye gaze? And I'm just like, excuse me? And there's a liking for him. I like him because there's that open communication, because there's that conscious partnership and connection, because he's able to see, hold, and be with me in a way that I have so deeply desired. And now, after a decade of attuning, refining, clearing, reprogramming, believing that I'm worthy, I finally am able to rise in love with him, not fall. And so, in that rising in love, creating connection and liking. Okay. Okay. Pursuing from a place of wholeness within yourself. The reason I stopped dating last year is because I was intimate with a guy, and this is a pattern of mine, non-consent. And I know so many women have this, and there's so many varying degrees of consent, right? There's so many levels of consent, and it can change. Just because it's a yes doesn't mean that it's always going to be a yes. It might switch to a no, but because we, as women that have father wounds and don't feel the ability to communicate their needs, um, I had to do work to do. I had work to do because I didn't feel whole within myself or ready to receive the divine partnership that I wanted. And so now I feel really nourished. I'm ready to pursue, right? I'm ready to receive, rather. Pursue is like that outward energy, that hunt, that huntress. And receive, receptivity is that feminine, right? And so right now I'm going over the education portion of the Becoming Her Unity Circle, by the way. I don't think I said that. Um, um, and yeah, we're moving away from, oh my God, I should be so lucky I have his attention, because that is the wounded feminine within you. Do you know how many relationships I've gotten into time after time because, oh my God, I just like felt so lucky he sees me. And again, that's like my wounded little girl that has the original father wound because, oh my God, he sees me. And like, really, he just probably wants to have sex with me. And so, you, my dear, you are not lucky. You get to decide whether you want to be in relationship with him. He gets to be the one that courts you, bestows you. He gets to be the one that's lucky, right? To be yours. And so many women are just wanting to fill the void of being in relationship with any masculine, that they get in relationship with the wrong masculine, like me and my ex-alcoholic, or me and the guy that made fun of my tarot cards, or me and, you know, the super femme dude that just was like so emotionally dumping all over me. Love him. He's a healer, and I love that of him. And like, hold your shit, okay? Because we are 100% responsible for what comes up within us. And so this is part of sacred union too. If you feel triggered, is there, how can you be in conscious communication with your partner? When you did this, I felt this way. If you feel triggered, where can you take 100% radical personal ownership and responsibility? The man that I'm orienting to right now, I'm like doing a lot of continued healing with my masculine, my inner masculine, and we're setting boundaries. Boundaries look like we're only going to see each other once a week. We spoke about that. And that feels really good. And he was the one that took initiative to set that boundary. And my inner little girl's like, you're not obsessed with me and want to see me 5 times a week? What? Oh my God. And like, I don't want to see him 5 times a week. So I'm going to start to take ownership and responsibility of my trigger and not feeling chosen, and realize that I don't want that anyway. I don't want this enmeshment anyway. I want my sovereignty. I want to stay individual, because all of my relationships up until now have been so enmeshed. We become two, become one, right? And it's like, whoa, I kind of like lose myself, especially my last relationship. And that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to perpetuate going into the next one. And beautiful man that's so embodied in his masculinity is setting boundaries. And I'm like, you mean you don't want to enmesh with me? Oh my, like taking it so personally. And I'm like, wait, Kat, like I really don't want that anyways. And the trigger there that I'm owning is the fact that this is different than the old ways that I've related. And it's uncomfortable because it's different. It's not wrong. The way that we're relating now is not wrong, but I'm kind of like, I have this like kink right now of making myself wrong for it. I'm like, wait, I actually want this too, but you're just like, you're communicating it. Okay. So, sacred union is a partnership where Shiva and Shakti, God and goddess, and divine consciousness and union and Kundalini energy, you in the receptivity of him in your womb space, being penetrated by the root of him, activates this divine feminine force to rise through your spine, through this Sushumna Nadi, which is your central channel that runs up and down along the spine, out of the crown of your head, and creates a divine union with God. Yay! Kelly, I'm so happy you're here. Yay! She's feeling it. Yes. Let's make men pick me again. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So with that, the pick me, it's like, okay, how can we actually like lean back? Right? And so I was speaking to another woman, she's amazing, a good friend of mine here in Colorado, and she talks about like women leaning back into their back body. And this is something that I really have to practice. Grant, like, ladies, like, I'm a jaguar priestess for God's sakes, and I am far from perfect when it comes to like still cultivating my femininity because so many parts of me are leaders, so many parts of me are initiators. Come to the masterclass in a couple weeks, the transmission in a couple weeks, we'll talk all about it. But like leaning into your back body means maybe not like being the one to lead the conversation and ask all the questions all the time. That's a practice for me. And how do you hold space to see him rise? Right? And so this is the initiator. This is the invitation that we as women get to hold. We hold the space for them to rise and meet us. Heather, I know that you're in that right now in your relationship. Is you're like, okay, I'm gonna let go a little. I'll let go of the reins a little. I'm gonna see what happens. And it's working. He's rising. He's meeting. It's like, okay, I'm gonna let go a little bit more. Ah. And the good thing is he gets to rise to meet you now, and it's like not super emergency things, and you get to just be in this practice too. Of like, okay, like how does he make a plan for dinner? How does he, show up when I'm on the first day of my bleed and I tell him that I need to rest? Right? And so your feminine in conscious relating and sacred union is leaned back. And granted, these are not like black and white, right or wrong, always or never, but these are just kind of like frameworks to relate by. So you're here to set a standard and to invite your partner to rise. I have been the mother. Admittedly, I have been the mother in a number of my relationships. I see women mothering their men all the time. My sister, I love you so much. And I see that pattern in her. And I actually told her straight to her face. I was like, yeah, you're mothering him and he has a mother wound. So you guys are kind of like feeding into each, you're like, you're over controlling and manipulative, not, like not in a horribly manipulative, toxic way, but it's like, I'm trying to like control and change the outcomes. And he misses his mommy, RIP, rest her soul, and he was a mother's boy, a mama's boy. And so he's just like kind of soft, and they're in practice right now for him to kind of create that strength and that spine, so he can hold her more. Okay, so we're all on our own path, but be aware of maybe where you might be mothering your men, and it's like the greatest turn off. Okay, so I invite you to not do that. And it takes work within you. Where can you claim radical personal ownership and responsibility of like, oh, where have I been perpetuating this behavior? And when it comes to conflict, especially in sacred union, We are all 100% responsible for conflict. Heather is not 60% responsible, and boyfriend is not 40% responsible, because there's still lack in both of those. Okay? You can never be whole if you don't take 100% radical personal ownership and responsibility for how you contributed and perpetuated. Was there an ask that you didn't communicate that you could have? Was there a boundary that you didn't set that you should have? Okay? So taking 100% radical personal ownership and responsibility, also part of sacred union. There was one more thing that I definitely wanted to mention. Hold on, King. Okay. Okay, here it is. Wait. Part of sacred union for me too that I've really been exploring, here we are, is like, yes, queen, you are the queen, but you are the king too. If you want a king, you become a king. You cultivate a relationship with your own inner king. And then you have a reference point for and a reference point and a means to attract that same vibration of the inner king that you've been cultivating. So again, creating a standard, elevating your standard, because you are doing all of this work. My mentor, Alma Lee, God, I love her. If you guys didn't watch her, she's day 3. Please watch her. She's fucking incredible. But she talks about how women are the flowers, men are the bees, men are the pollinators, right? And so we as women, we get to continually, cultivate our own inner garden and our sanctuaries. And part of that cultivation is also cultivating the relationship with our own inner masculine, our own inner daddies. Yeah, I want a daddy. So like, let me reparent and father myself and learn what needs have gone unmet and how I can meet myself emotionally and set boundaries, right? So boundaries, standards, communicating your needs. These are all masculine energetics. And so you need to cultivate masculinity too within yourself. You need to cultivate your relationship to your own inner king. How does your inner king provide? I know a client of mine, she was like, oh, I really want to be in a relationship because I just want my man to provide and I want to split things in half. And life would be so much more affordable in a relationship. And I'm like, girl, become a provider. So you don't need to be in relationship out of necessity or disparity, and you get to really be in relationship because of love and connection and sacred union. And so that's, something that I continue to work on. An activity that I'll invite you into, pencil this down for later because we're not going to do it here. But this is something that really supported my reclamation journey and really calling in the sacred masculine and king into my life, was something so simple as writing a list of all of those qualities of the man that I so deeply desire. And then on that list was financial stability, financial security, being able to protect and provide. Well, if I'm still having non-consensual penetration, receiving non-consensual full consent penetration from men, then I clearly am not able to protect myself fully. So, okay, I got to work on that. Or if I'm, $6,000 or $8,000 in credit card debt and I make $2,000 a month, then I'm definitely not financially stable. And okay, I got to work on that. Right? And so this list actually gets to be a inventory list for what you get to cultivate more of. And I have my list on my notes and I would revisit it every single day as kind of like my spotlight to where I needed to cultivate, what I needed to cultivate more of. Okay. And so go over that list, and whatever feels like, I'm feeling wobbly around this, and that gets to be like your focus there. Okay. Okay. I want to read this. I was 8 years older than my ex. He definitely wanted, yeah, make you like his mom, right? Yep, exactly. Um, I will never split 50-50 because because men get paid more. Yeah. We are not equal. Yeah. Yeah. That is something that I am in right now with this man that I have been seeing. And girl, he asked me on a date and then he asked me to split the check with him on the first date.
Ew, no, I'm so sorry. I have to chime in. That is so disgusting. I'd be instantly icked. No, men will always cover women and support us financially because we literally support their lifeline. Like we are continuing their genealogy by having their children. That is priceless. They could never pay us back for that. Like at the very least, feed me and house me. Like that is the least you can do for me carrying your children. And also, we add so much value to a man's life that is also priceless. So no, until men can carry children, we are not equal. Women do more. So yes, you get paid more, you take care of us. Yeah, that is so. And it's also really offensive when men think that that is like women being independent. Like, no, until women have like equal representation in media, equal representation in politics, equal representation in the workforce, in job positions, in hierarchy, in research into women's health, no, you're not helping us and the feminist movement by not taking care of us and not feeding us. That is like toxic masculinity. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, I'm so happy that you just vocalized that. Thank you. Thank you.
That is, sorry, one last thing. That is lazy feminism. That is men masquerading as feminists. That is not helping us. You are offending me. You are playing in my face by thinking that that's what women want. No, we need men in the feminist movement. We needed men to step up and do more, not less. We're already women. We don't want you to act like the hot girls. Open my door, pay for food, pull out the chair. Like, treat me like a princess, treat me like a queen. That's what I am. You want to be treated like a king? Then take care of your queen.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm going on a date after this, and I am ready to be treated like a queen.
Girl, like these are bare minimum. Bare minimum. Like men need to step up, not down.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Amazing. Well, I'm so glad that you shared because step 5 in the Becoming Hero Unity Circle is opening the floor and hearing. I dribbled water on me, by the way, so I feel like I need to name that because there's water dripping down my shirt. But opening the floor, I want you ladies to share, yeah, wisdom, knowledge, anything that has come through from everything that I just shared. Kelly, love you. Thank you so much. If you have anything else that this conversation has sparked or inspired, I'd love to just yeah, hear from you ladies too, because I fully believe that we all have wisdom, right, to carry. And the way that Kelly just shared in her truth is a way that maybe I didn't have, the exact words for or that conviction of. And so we get to really be mirrors again for one another and learn and calibrate to each other, right? So she, by really owning her belief system around this, just helped to expand and calibrate my own nervous system. So that's why it's also so important to open the floor to let you ladies speak. So floor is open. Who has a talking stick?
Well, I'll just continue what I was saying because I do have to keep moving with getting ready for this movie. But I do hold women largely responsible to how men are being lazy and low effort, and the bar is so low because men will always rise to women's standards, and the lower we accept standards, the lower they will go. So we have to keep raising standards for men to meet us. Men will do anything to get with a woman. I was going to be really crass, but oh well. Men will do anything. So make them work, make them step up. It's really up to us. Like, I don't just think that men are toxic and lazy because they're devolving, which I actually kind of do think they're devolving, but it's because we've allowed them to do that because in the feminist movement, we thought by being independent ladies, and I'm very independent. Like, I'm not taken care of by a man and never have been, but like they still spoil me when I'm with them because I hold myself to a higher standard. And we as women need to do that. So, men will keep going lower if we allow them to, and will keep treating us poorly if we allow it. So that's why the celibate movement is so powerful, because I didn't give it up until I found a man that like really treated me really well. And I got what I wanted because I waited and I wasn't accepting any lower offers and wasn't allowing any like low value men into my life or my energy. And I really got like a man that, even though he was much younger and it didn't work out because he also wanted a mother, he really did treat me for the most part really quite well. And that's because I had very high standards going into it. And I really like laid that out there from the beginning. So I think it really is up to us as women to have men step up. We can't just keep complaining about men being, trash and not being gentlemen or chivalrous anymore. It's because we've allowed them to get to that point.
You
And
Kelly!
just to add on to that, I completely agree. And then, all this weaponized incompetence where, there's all these women who are basically single moms, but in a relationship where then they're also carrying the weight of a man who expects her to contribute 50-50 or more to the household expenses, but then is still not stepping up 50-50 in childcare and can never step up 50-50 in childbirth, as Kelly was saying earlier. So, yeah, until men can carry a baby and deliver it, like, we are not 50-50. And I just think I totally agree with the fact that women need to hold a higher standard. And then also, yeah, it is like this fake feminist messaging of, I think, Kat, what you were saying earlier of like, oh, you don't need a man. Like, it's okay to want to be in a relationship with a man who treats you well and respects you and, appreciates everything that you bring into his life. Um, there's nothing wrong with that. As same as there's like the fake feminist message of like, oh, a woman should subsidize a man. Like, no, we live in a patriarchy. Like, until that changes, hard no. Um, but then it is so much easier said than done when the standard is so low, collectively. Uh, so yeah, I think I just really enjoying this discussion, and I think the idea of basically, Kat, what you had shared of like looking for like the traits that you desire in a man, of like instead like looking into how you can reflect that for yourself as well. Because I do think it is so important for women to be self-sufficient, and then having a man as an add-on, not a necessity. And that's, I think, how we reset the standard as well.
Oh,
Can I just like piggyback off that? Because I so support what Heather said. Um, I think as women, if we are financially stable and successful in our own right, it does allow us to be in confidence and security a little more in relationship. And then a man just adds on, like Heather said, where yes, he in his presence, he will still pay for everything and take care of us. But we know that we don't have to always be in his presence because we're okay as well. And I think women get into very toxic and dangerous situations because we're relying on men for some financial stability when they should just be like, dessert on top instead of the whole meal, like giving us all of our sustenance. So I think that it's great to be in partnership, and I love men, but we shouldn't need to rely on them, and that comes with, being financially stable.
yes. Women. Yeah. It's so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Yeah, I've been starting to open my work to men more now because I've done so much healing with my masculine and have felt the call to create more of these sacred union spaces with men's groups and men's facilitators. And this is a conversation that, part of me is like, this is good that we get to have it in a space of women. And the other like edgy part of me is like, we need men in this conversation too. So, yeah, not for now, not for now, but thank you for sharing your wisdom. And now is the piece where we set the expectation, right? So this is step 6, provide the pre-frames, normalize anything that might come up throughout the experience that I'm going to be facilitating here momentarily, and really just creating a stage of safety and self-resourcefulness. You ladies are independent, regulated women. You're self-resourced, you're nourished, you know what you need. You have a strong sense of your inner compass, your intuition. And so, yeah, I trust that you get to explore the edges of your own expansion while also remaining in a really beautifully uh, supported space. I don't want to say regulated, because a lot of the work that I facilitate isn't always to keep your nervous systems regulated. A lot of the work, even though I am a trauma informed facilitator, I like to press buttons in a really beautiful and respectful and thoughtful way. But we're here to grow, we're here to evolve, we're here to expand the edges of our comfort zones. And so that happens through expanding, yeah, and allowing ourselves to feel more, not allowing ourselves to feel good. And so my yoga teacher from, 15 years ago even said that. He was like, the point of your practice is not to make yourself feel good, it's to make yourself feel more, right? And so that's going to be the practice that we're moving into now. So all right, I am going to step 7, invite you into the facilitated exercises. So, in the Becoming Her Unity Circle, that looks like partner work, group work, or individual work. In the Feminine Untamed Ascension Gathering, those are more like group dynamic and relationship. That now in the Becoming Her, because we're using each other as mirrors, we're going to use each other as an invitation, right? And so, Kelly, if you're available to come on video for this next part, that would be fantastic. Um, are you available? Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm not. I wish I could, but I've been a little distracted now and I'm running late. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great. So just tune in. Heather, I'll work with you, and Kelly, you can be the observer. And you know what? I'm going to ask you, Kelly, because you can't be on video. If you can, like, if you're available to go on chat or do the reactions, I'll explain what we're doing in just a moment. And then you can kind of like call more of Heather online. Beautiful. Okay. Yay. So, yeah, through the facilitated exercises, I'm going to, oh, let's see, paste those there in the chat. Looks like Heather just jumped off, so we'll see if she joins us again. Um, she was like, no, I'm gonna be in the hot seat. I need to go now. I'm just kidding. She'll probably jump back on. Yeah. Okay. But with that, I came up with a list of questions for us to reflect on. So, number one, what have you learned from past relationships? And I know I spoke into this on day 2 with Megan Smith from the summit, but we talked about there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. And so you're never off path, you're always on the path, even if what you perceive as being a failure or it didn't work out. That's always getting you closer toward your destiny line. And with what you perceive as failures, you get to actually refine and refine. And okay, here she's coming back in. You get to refine what you've learned from those past relationships, and attune, right? So we have some feedback. Hi, Heather. She's on her computer now. Or phone? Computer? Yeah. I was like, oh, I scared Heather. I told her that she would be doing the exercise. And she left right away. Okay, so yeah, I posted the questions in the chat, Heather, but I'm gonna repost them because you had dropped off. So we're gonna just like use these as a framework. and some introspection. But because of time, we'll just take like a few minutes to go over these. But yeah, with the becoming her, typically what would happen, and Heather, you can actually pin my video, and then I'm gonna pin you so that you and I get to like be in communication and relationship. And for people that are facilitating the Becoming Her Unity Circle online, you can create breakout rooms. And then if you're facilitating it in person, then you can just like have people go into their pods or partners. So, Heather, because it's just you and I, and then like if it's a small group, you can just pin the person so that they're big on your screen. And then I'm going to give you the stage. So, yeah, what have you learned from past relationships? And I was talking about failures and using those failures to realize that it's actually feedback and as an opportunity to attune, like, and refine more of what you want. What relationships inspire you? Those could be relationships of, people outside of you that feel inspiring to you. What aspects of those relationships do you desire for your own? Where do you feel maybe out of integrity or unworthy of receiving and being in that type of relationship? What are you wanting to refine or attune even more so that you can easily attract in the irresistible love that you desire? And then lastly, um, we are going to, okay, what are the parts of your relationship that you're desiring but not yet claimed? So just quickly, as you feel inspired to share into certain aspects of those, I'm going to hand you the mic.
Sure, yeah. So I think, yeah, the thing that most jumped out to me of those questions is where I feel like not in alignment to receive like what I'm desiring in a relationship, and I think that is definitely what some of the stuff that we've been exploring, but the like innate worthiness and receiving and trying to untangle some of those cultural narratives of, oh, like, what are you doing to contribute? Like, let's make everything quantifiable. Like, if you can't put it in a spreadsheet, then like it doesn't have any value, kind of thing. When, yeah, I think trying to reframe and better understand that my presence is power, and like sharing my body with a man is priceless. And so, yeah, that I am worthy of care and being cared for and receiving just by being me, and that I don't have to make sure that I'm doing the housework if he's paying for things, like that it can be that we don't have to be into these like perfect gender roles for me to still be in a role of receiving, that I am worthy of that, just because of who I am. And yeah, that's a part that I'm definitely still working to fully embody.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think there was a video I saw that was like, the man brings everything to the relationship, or brings everything to the table, including the table. And like, I was like, yeah, I love that. Like, but it's so hard to then like fully then like bring that concept into being, like, yeah, because of the way that standards and the way that women have been programmed. And exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that was a deep deprogramming for me too, actually. Was realizing that in my last relationship, felt like he was bringing so much, and the part of me that was still deeply programmed through the patriarchal lens was like, oh, I'm not giving enough to the relationship. And so I felt like I wasn't contributing. And what I realized was like, oh, my presence is the present. My presence is a gift. And it's actually just like in me, in my femininity, in my receptivity, in my playfulness, in my fun and my pleasure, like that's what really gets to nourish the relationship. So beautiful, 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 beautiful. So what I'm going to invite you into now, I'm going to play a song. Let's see, let's find a sexy song. Oh, I have a good one. Hold on. Yes, where is it? Okay. And Kelly, this is where I'm gonna, if you're able to just like give some encouragement, I'm gonna ask you to do that. Hold on. Lady. Where is it? Oh wait. There's one specific song. Okay, please hold. Okay, girl, here it is. Okay. So I'm going to invite you, Heather, and then for anyone else who's facilitating the Becoming Her, this is where you guys would work in partner or in small groups. But Heather, I'm going to turn the practice over to you. I'm so excited to witness you in this. I want you to be in your pleasure. I want you to be in your seduction. I want you to really tune into the like frequency of the receptive woman, the queen, and let yourself like turn us on, right? So I want you to imagine that you're here like dancing for moving for the sacred union that you're calling in or that you're already in, right? So just like moving, being in that expression. And yeah, it'll be a little bit of like a somatic embodiment practice. I'm going to share a song. Are you ready? Okay, tell me how the volume is.
I'm not hearing anything yet.
Can you hear it?
Not really. Yeah. I think I hear like a bass line.
No?
Oh wait, no. Okay, I can hear something now.
Wait. Okay. Right.
Now,
Did you
we're getting a double echo now, and then I think you've got a setting on where it's like voice isolation or sound isolation, so it's like blocking out the music.
Okay. Yeah, I think Heather, when I play the music, you're gonna have to put yourself on mute because I am getting some feedback. But we're gonna witness you. We're gonna encourage you as you start to dance, as you start to be in your seduction, as you start to be in your feminine. If we like what we're seeing, then we can kind of like signal like, yes, you got it. Or if we want more, we can say, okay, invite more, more, more. Okay. How's that sound, Kelly? Are you ready? If you're available to just give her some thumbs up and stuff.
Yes.
Amazing. You hear it?
I personally can't hear it. I think there's a way, Kat, where you put the sound instead of playing it in your background. So you actually play the song through the
Okay. I had shared my volume. Hold on. Zoom background noise removal. I don't know what's happening, but you can hear it, Heather. You heard it, right?
I can hear bits and pieces. I could play my own sexy song
Sexy.
and just kind of vibe with that.
Let me cancel this really quickly.
If I told you that you rock my world, would you let me call you my girl?
Yes, Heather.
Give you the life you deserve. Just say the word, baby. I gotcha, hey, now that I gotcha.
Yeah. Let's take the hair down. Yeah. Yes.
Old fashioned.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. You did amazing. Oh my gosh, I love that you took your hair down right when I was like thinking, "Oh, I want her to take her hair down." And you took your hair down. It was perfect. I loved it. Okay, so from there, I just want to reflect as part of the closing. I loved when you like took your hair down and I feel like you were just having fun. You were having fun with yourself and that was such a like turn on for me. And so I love just like witnessing you and your joy and your pleasure and your expression. And the more like wild you allow yourself to be, the more fun I was having with you. And so bringing that like dynamic now into your relationship and then something that I like really like I wanted even more of like I just wanted to like like I just wanted you to like get on your feet and like so maybe play with that too and you can do even some like mirror work. I'm gonna put this sexy song in the chat and you can download it, save it, use it, get in the mirror and seduce yourself with it. And yeah, I just love watching you in your expression. So thank you for letting us witness you. All right. How was that for you? So step 7 or step 8 rather is sharing and integration, right? So I just had some time to reflect back to you and then I'd love for you to know, how did that feel? What felt edgy? What felt expansive?
Yeah, it definitely felt edgy and like, yeah, feeling like, oh, I'm on stage, but it feels good too. It feels good to be witnessed. It feels good to have fun and be cheered on for that. Like that feels amazing. And just being supported in exploring kind of this different dimension of myself and my expression. So yeah, it was an edge. It was fun. And it feels great to be witnessed and seen by my sisters. So
Yes. So proud of you. That was amazing. I love watching you. And then step 9 is clearing. So if anything came up, this is now opening up the circle for the women in this space, noticing maybe like if I said something that was triggering for you, like is there something that you want to name, clear, kind of yeah, so we can all come back to harmony and baseline. And then also like taking ownership, right? Remaining sovereign and taking ownership in that. But if something felt activating for the people in this space, then you can kind of open it up and hold the circle together. If there's any clearings that need to happen. And then the last step is step 10, grounding, closing, gratitude. So it's 5:55 here. I'm just gonna say a quick closing. How grateful I am for both of you for showing up so fully and wholeheartedly. This was such a beautiful, fun experience. Thank you for also, showing up in your authenticity and your truth and your conviction and being an expander for me. These circles, every single time I'm expanded and learn so much. And so I'm just so grateful. And I pray that you beautiful women who have received this transmission remember the divinity that you are and remember that he brings everything to the table, including the table. And yeah, enjoy being treated like the queen that you are. And the queen is the 11th archetype in the 12 archetype spiral, the Jaguar spiral that I've created. So in, that last second to last month, we'll be exploring what it means to like claim your queendom, right? And yeah, that's just my prayer, is that you get to really claim the full spectrum woman that you are, and really own the ways in which you want life to show up for you, and setting that standard, and letting life rise to meet you, letting men rise to meet you, letting your desires rise to meet you, because you have been so crystal clear about what it is that you're welcoming in. So with that, ladies, I know I think I've sent you both emails, but I don't know if you saw, I have opened up my calendar. This is something I like rarely ever do. And tomorrow, these Untamed Feminine sessions, the Uncaged the Untamed Feminine, is closing. So this is a free 45-minute session. And through this, we'll explore core conditioning that keeps you small, the deeper desire that you're wanting to claim, and really like the season that you're in as a feminine being. So we'll kind of look at your own inner cycles that you're moving through. I know Kelly just had her bleed, so she's in her winter. I'm coming into my spring. Okay, Kelly's booked hers. Amazing. I thought I saw your name and I was like, this looks familiar. So Heather, feel free to book yours. I know you and I have some sessions as well, but it's my gift to you. I'd love to explore this and have like a little bit more framework. And then yeah, I am so excited to continue deepening and sharing this work. Tomorrow, you guys will see, actually, I'm just going to share it with you right now. There is a activation, a rite of passage, I'm calling it. It's not a masterclass, it's a rite of passage, an initiation into the initiate. So the initiate is the first of the 12 archetypes that we explore in the Untamed Facilitator. And the initiate is really like connecting to your higher realms, and air is the element. And so we'll be exploring what it means to make ache become art, and where heartbreak becomes holy. And my initiations and my dark nights have been, and those me on the earth moments have been the most beautiful moments of my life, and the most purposeful moments of my life. And so I am here to provide that transmission and initiation into your full spectrum, full range woman, as well as exploring, these Phoenix rising moments, rising from the ashes. And I'll be teaching a few different pillars that I move through when being initiated, from the descent to the dark night, through the portal, into the rebirth, and then the ascent into your queendom. So super excited about that. She's the Phoenix this year. Amazing. I love it. Yeah, the Phoenix has been like speaking to me in a really big way. Rise was your other word for the year. It's perfect. We are so in sync. I'm so excited to have you at that transmission. And yeah, I'd love to share with you ladies an invitation as well. So I know, yeah, especially after the fires, I feel you and see you there, sister. So with that, I am opening space into the Untamed Facilitator. And this isn't just a certification. This isn't just a women's group. This isn't just an average program. It's really a portal for your initiation and becoming and claiming your Jaguar Priestess path. So feeling into your body, feeling into the deeper whispers, feeling into your desire for more. The feminine is always welcoming more into her life. And what I want you to know is there's another level that you're rising into right now. There's another invitation, a soul remembrance into the woman that you came here to be. And now, if you feel that pull and you feel what's possible, is your initiation to stand and rise into your fullest expression. So what if you never had to shrink again? What if you never had to conform again? What if you never had to dim your magic just to be taken seriously? And your presence alone, like we spoke about all day today, was the medicine that changed lives. You walk into the room, you know yourself so deeply, that resonance is a familiarity to others, and your resonance and your presence heals people because you have healed yourself. Okay, and so what happens when you walk the untamed path is this, that it's not just about holding space for others, it's really about discovering the truth of who you are before the programs and the disembodied patriarchy. It's about becoming the woman that leads by being through the body, through your essence, and through your unapologetic expression. And through the process of the untamed path, you become a woman who trusts in your timing, who listens to the whispers of her womb, who honors her rage as sacred. Oh my God, Kelly, I'm so excited to hear about how tonight goes, by the way. You're singing your sacred rage. And a woman who holds the frequency of love, even as timelines collapse around her. So, this invitation is not just your next evolution. It's not just becoming a facilitator. It's becoming an artist, a disruptor, a visionary, and the leader of a revolutionary movement. So I'm so excited for this. Heather, you know all about it, but this is the Untamed Facilitator I spoke to you about in the last session. And it's a 12-month advanced certification program rooted in somatics, trauma-informed facilitation, spiritual leadership, and feminine energetics. There's 6 calls a month from somatic facilitation and like business development and intuitive development, energy work. And so this is a whole spectrum of really claiming your wild woman and welcoming your untamed woman online. And my prayer with the support that you're going to be receiving in this is that you get to rest into a place of true receptivity, knowing that you're supported in a beautiful framework that supports your evolution. There's coaching calls, there's manifesting magic calls every month, there's facilitation calls where you get to practice your skills that you've developed, there's book clubs where we're receiving the wisdom from doctors and experts in their field, and this really gets to be your home, your homecoming from this year and beyond. And there's like so many incredible guest speakers that we'll be having inside of the community as well. And like I started off, my people in my world say this is better than therapy. I've been looking for this for years and I finally have arrived, and we are here to stay. This is life, this is family, and I'm so excited to let this family grow even more and create the throne that you get to sit on as you rise to the top of your temple and onto your queen's throne where you belong. And I'm just so excited. There's a bonus that's happening right now too. So if you have questions, if you're at all interested, let me know. There's only a couple days left to receive the bonuses. The bonuses include a room upgrade on the retreat that's happening. So there's an in-person component of this too. There's a retreat that's going to be happening at the end of August through the first week of September. There's going to be multiple business masterminds. You get room upgrades, you get your hotel room paid for. The first business mastermind is in May, so you're really kicking it off strong, creating like a vision and a beautiful pathway. Both of these summits are happening here in Colorado, so you'll be meeting community of other like-minded women, healers, entrepreneurs, and I'm so excited. So yeah, this is like the next big thing that's coming through the Feminine Untamed ecosystem, and spots are super limited. I want to keep the group small so you guys can continue to receive top of the line support. And I value intimacy and closeness, and so letting the space remain intimate through the growth of it all. So I'm so excited, woman, channel, oracle, healer that you are, medicine woman. If you're feeling the call, if you're feeling interested, the link is there, and then on the link there's a button to apply. So on that, like, just because you hit apply does not mean that you're in. Just because you hit apply does not mean that you're obligated. That's just we'll set up a application call to see if it's a good fit for what you're desiring to grow. And I'm so excited to walk this journey with you ladies. And Kelly, I'm so excited to learn more about you. I am so grateful for both of you for showing up here live. And tomorrow evening, we have a panel and hot seat Q&A. So the panel is from 5 to 6 with Sasha Starseed. She's amazing. She's an incredible artist, holographic sound healer that will be joining us. And Kay Farah, she is a freedom coach. And Kay also, she is, yeah, like moving through this beautiful alchemical process and owning her voice and taking responsibility for parts of herself that maybe had been in the shadow. So I'm so excited to invite these women to the stage. Be sure to join. And yeah, I'm just so excited to be able to let it be more of like a conversation. And if things have come up throughout the summit, then take notes on any of the conversations that or the interviews that had happened. Make sure you bring those questions. And I'm just so excited to continue deepening with you ladies. And this was so much fun. I hope you have an amazing night. And I love you all so much.
Thank you so much.